So I just want to say thank you all so much for coming. My name is Erin McGrane, and I serve on the board of the Heartland Song Network. And I want to welcome our special guest tonight, Nicole Springer. Please give her a big hand.
Oh, thank you. That's very nice. Thank you so much, Hartley, and Erin, and Diane, Danny, and the whole team. It's an honor to be here.
So let's start with the most current thing, which is you are right now, I mean, this is current, real-time happening, releasing your new album called Strong. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, that's my old album. I'm actually released a single called Strong. It's the first song off my album, which is coming out on October 24th, so we got a little time before then. And it's my first all-solo, full-length album. I've been playing music in Kansas City for a very long time. And thank you for the kind words, because I'm a big fan as well, and awe, and I didn't know you were hosting or asking me questions, so I'm shy. But thank you, I appreciate this opportunity. I've been making music in Kansas City for a long time, with bands, different manifestations of that, from a folk trio to a full-on rock band, and that's all been fun. But I realized that as part of kind of overcoming myself, I needed to make an album myself. So that's exactly what I've done over the past year, in the middle of cruising, which is something that I do. I perform on cruise ships music. Between all those contracts, I've gone in and just over the years sprinkled the time that I could with Andy Oxman in Blue Springs, Missouri. If you don't know Andy, he's a soulmate. No way. He's very, very talented. Hello. And so long story short, yeah, it's an eight song full-length album. I do everything on it, just guitar, piano, and vocals, some harmonies, and it's just songs over the last 20 years that I've written, and I just need to put them out there.
Okay, so let's dig into that a little bit. So why was it important to you that you do this album solo? And by solo, you mean you wrote it, you sang it, you played every instrument on the album?
Mm-hmm. Yes. I have a few co-writers. I love collaborating on songwriting. I just think it's one of the coolest ways to come up with ideas and take songs in directions that you didn't even know could go. So some of them I've written by myself, some my wife, Beth, has actually co-written on, and then I have a songwriting partner named David Hill, and he's been amazing. So yeah, but otherwise I sang and performed them, produced them, arranged them, and did all the instrumentation. But there's a singer-songwriter feel to it, you know. It really is me kind of just bearing my soul on these tracks, which is what I wanted to capture. I think I've been hiding. I mean, I've had amazing bands, I've had exceptional musicians on my team, but ultimately I think I was hiding in that, and that's not a good sign of how you value yourself, and I needed to know that I'm worthy of making my own album. I can do that. So I hope it empowers anybody else who needs to hear that. You can too.
Is that what strong means? Talk about what strong means.
Well, if you want the real story of Strong.
I want the real story. We're here for the real story.
So my song I just released on Tuesday called Strong, I actually wrote it after my first cruise contract, and really initially it was about I feel strong, I survived that, I did that, it was the scariest thing I've done in my life. But it also wasn't just about overcoming, it was about being strong in the face of maybe people in your way or people putting you down. A few years ago I worked with a producer and somebody that had been kind of following my journey for a few years, and then reached out and offered to produce a song for me for free, and told me all these things that were amazing to hear, that I'm spiritual, and then I took all those things to heart. But in the same note, he'd cut me down, like constantly cutting me down through the recording process. You're not good enough, you don't look good enough, your age, like anything he could tackle about me, he did, and I still feel it. Still feel it in my heart. And so it was really important that I write a song where I'm never talking to that person again, like I never want to see them again, but I have the right to express what I would say to them. And so Strong is saying, who are you? You're no one. I have dreams, I'm pursuing them, and I'm strong enough to go after them, and I don't need anybody to tell me what I can or can't do. So there's a little bit of sass in there, but again, that's what art is for. You can express the things that you can't maybe say.
I think that brings up a really interesting point that I think people don't really realize how much criticism artists get, how hard it is. People look from the outside and think, oh, you have this incredible voice. Nicole has an incredible voice, incredible songwriter, very good musician. So people think you've got it all made looking from the outside, and that it must be easy. And I think it's a little bit surprise to people sometimes how vulnerable it actually feels to make art, no matter what stage in your career you are. So you've been at this for a while, but still you have a producer, you open up and you're vulnerable. Making art is vulnerable, right?
It is, it's a challenge, but it's a challenge, and that's why a lot of people don't always do it. A lot of people don't share their art, and they hold, that's okay, you keep it to yourself. It's whatever you want to do with it. And I was just speaking to some students this morning about songwriting, and I said, make sure it's for you first, and then put it out in the world if that's what you want to do. But it has to be for you first, because it's healing, and that's the intention of it. For me anyways, it's all about the journey, mental health journey.
So you mentioned that you had been on the seas. So Nicole has been under contract with the same boat the whole time?
Royal Caribbean.
Royal Caribbean. For a couple of years now, right?
I'm just 1 year, so I've done 3 contracts in 1 year.
3 contracts in 1 year, that's a lot. Yeah. So you've been out on the seas and you're doing a solo show?
Yeah, so...
Tell us what is that like to do that by yourself? Because that's a big undertaking as a solo artist.
It really is. So I had spent, back in 2020, great year to try to start your career, but in 2020, I was like, I'm going to be a solo musician, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to figure it out, I'm going to make it full time, and then the pandemic hit, and then whatever. I spent the next 2 years really working on my craft, playing hundreds of shows a year. And I realized I needed a new opportunity. I needed to fly. I needed to spread my wings to see something, do something. And so, got into cruising, and it's a unique experience.
How do you get that contract? Did you audition?
No. It's funny, I overheard a musician friend that was like, music on cruise ships, and I was like, wait, did you say there's music on like live music on cruise ships? I didn't even have a passport. I never even thought of what a cruise ship would be like. So, and they were like, yeah, they have a piano bar, sometimes a guitar player, and I was like, okay, well that's a possibility, that's potential. And so my wife filmed a video of me with my iPhone of me just singing 4 or 5 songs, and I sent it to Royal Caribbean, and I got offers from them and Carnival and Celebrity, and I ended up going with Royal because they had me home for Christmas last year, which was important. But I'm just the pub musician. I'm not just the pub, I am the pub musician. So that's 6 nights a week, 4 hours with breaks of performing, doing covers, taking requests. Each contract, I learned 60 plus songs for my guests. That was some of the feedback that Royal told me. They were like, they said that they'd ask for a song you didn't know, and the next night you played for them. I said, hell yeah, because I care. My audience is my audience, man. If they show up for me, I show up for them. I'll learn that song. I don't care.
Yeah, but not everybody would do that. I'm saying this is special about Nicole. This is why you're strong and special, because not everyone would do that. It is intense though when you're touring like that. So that feels to me like what Jeff and I used to do when you're playing every single night. If you have a night off, it feels like something's wrong. It feels weird when you're not doing it. Yeah. And it does change the way that you play, and it changes the way, I think, your relationship to being on stage. Yeah. How did that impact your writing? Because I think this album came directly out of that experience of being on the road. Am I right in saying that or not?
There's a few songs that are, but really the album is a collection of some songs spread over 20 years. There's a song from when I was 19 that I'm putting on this album because it just came back into my life and needed to go on it. But Strong, trying to think if there was another one on there. I think the rest I really just kind of wrote before the cruise, and it's just taken a year. It's a big project to release an album. I can't do that when I'm thinking of the next cruise contract a week away, So, but it's,
Did you find it hard to write? Tell me about your off time on the boat. What was that like?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool for the most part. I got off the boat quite a bit, so I've seen 8 or 9 different countries now, and so that was pretty cool. But I did a lot of playing. Like I said, I was learning songs, so I'm sitting in there. I get my hour of internet every day, and I'm downloading. What do they want? They want, I don't even know, Zach Brown Band? Fine, I'll learn it. Whatever. Just and practice those songs. But I did write a lot. I actually wrote a lot more instrumentally, which is interesting. So I have a lot of songs that are waiting, because usually I get like a melody going, and then the song comes. Now I've got songs that start with the guitar, because I had to be more quiet in my room. So that was, it's interesting. It challenged the way I write and challenged the way I come up with ideas, but it brought a whole new way to do it, which I think is growth, really.
So I'm going to ask you the question everybody used to ask us. Which comes first, the lyrics or the music?
Music.
Music for you,
Because
okay.
usually the music comes from an experience. It usually is a reaction to something I'm going through. So the root of it is already there. I know I'm going to write about cutting ties with my mom. I know I'm going to write about my depression. I know I'm going to write about that relationship, but the melody comes first and then the words. Yeah.
Do you mind if we get into a little bit of some of the topics of your songs and where that comes from and how it feels to... It's vulnerable to write songs about things that are actually happening in your life as opposed to story songs about other people.
Yes.
How has that process been for you? And can you tell us a little bit about the songs?
It's a constant challenge. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm pretty solid in myself and I can handle the vulnerability now, but you know, it is releasing a part of yourself into the world when you share a song. I mean, any musician would say the same, I'm sure, but I have to just let it go. I have to put it out there. It's part of the therapy of, you know, healing from something through music is to also let it into the world. And I like releasing Strong. Oh my God. Oh, I cried. Beth and I both cried when I read this message, but I released Strong. I got a message from someone who said they work with like a 1.5-year-old little girl. They do like some sort of therapy with her. I don't know if she has special needs, but she was really upset, and my friend was playing Strong on her phone, and she put it up to the little girl's ear, and the little girl went quiet. And for the whole song. And so what's funny is the doctors claim this girl is deaf. And so now the parents, the doctor, they aren't sure she actually is because of the impact of her hearing that song and going quiet and relaxing and listening. I don't know. So I'm just like, as vulnerable as it is, it's worth it to connect in any way with someone, to lift anybody up. I mean, that's what I think I'm born to do. I think that's what we're all born to do as artists. So it's worth it.
God, that's a great story. That just gave me chills.
I know, me too. I'm still getting over it. It's wild.
Have you? So the first single is just out now, so you haven't had too much feedback yet. But what is the initial, other than the little girl who, I don't know, you might have changed your life. Other than that, what has there been?
Oh, well, no big deal. No. Well, I got another message. I love when people send me feedback because it reminds me of that it's worth it to share, even when I feel like, is it necessary to do this or should I do this? I had somebody message me and said, Nicole, I just wanted you to know I really related to that song. I just lost my husband of 20 years who was a narcissist, and it hit home in a big way. And I was like, God. You know, like, I'm just glad that I could do something from my own pain, my own experience to help somebody cope with theirs as well. I mean, that's just, what else is there? That's the best way to connect with people.
Yeah. And I think sometimes too, when we write things about other people or experiences in our lives, I feel fear that I don't want that person to feel that I've written about them or something like that. There's always you walk a fine line between talking about things that honestly happen with people that are still around and still in your lives. Has that been an experience for you? Has that been difficult for you?
Yeah, I have gotten good at, you know, not making it super obvious what I'm writing about, which sometimes doesn't make the song as relatable, because sometimes people don't always know who are you talking about when you're saying this, but sometimes it's like, I don't want to specify the person, I just want to express how they made me feel or what happened. So it's a fine line to make sure you're not too specific, but that's the challenge of songwriting, is if you can tell the story about one specific person, but it becomes relatable to anybody else who listens to it. Yeah,
and I love the stimulus and response part of art as well. Like our job is the stimulus, not the response. So, you know, we just put out the stimulus as most honestly as we can, and then how people respond to it, we don't really get to control that part, you know?
That's why you can't have expectations, you know. That's why when I get any good feedback, it means the world to me, because I don't expect it, but I feel blessed when I hear it, so.
Yeah. I'm thinking too, I suddenly was thinking about Carly Simon. You probably don't even think this song is about you, right? for the ones that you're really writing a pointy song, they probably don't even realize it because they're not aware. So.
No, exactly. That's why you gotta write a song and cut them out of your life, and they'll never figure it out, but.
So what is your dream for this album? So this album's going to come out. So I want to talk about, you've got a CD release or an album release party coming up. You've got a video coming out. You've just dropped the first single. So you're at the very beginning of the arc of what happens when an album comes out. So what's your dream for this album, and what's coming? What's next?
It's a good
For this
question.
album.
It's a really good question. My hope, so I'm releasing Strong, and a lyric video this week is the beginning. It's kind of the crescendo, the start of what I hope will be just a really huge artistic statement, number one. I just hope that people hear the album and it's very clear where I'm at in my life, how far I've come, not just emotionally and mentally, but musically. I really feel like my strongest and I've ever been in my life as a singer. And cruising, playing 60 shows in 2 months will do that to you. It forces you to get better. That's why it's one of the best decisions I've ever made. But I'm going to share the heck out of this thing. I really have faith that there's going to be opportunities that I can't even put my finger on yet because the universe already has it figured out, and now I just have to put out my art, share it, and trust the process. That I didn't expect cruising to happen. I never expect the great things that come. So I'm just here to receive the abundance and just to do my very best as an artist to help others along the way. So I hope that helps keep my career moving forward, but more than anything, it's a personal triumph.
Do you want to tour this record?
Oh, I'd love to. What's interesting is I've made a lot of friends and fans from cruising. So along California, I could essentially do a tour with the fans I've made that are willing to host me. So really hope to, once this is released, to organize my little California tour, get out there and do that. I mean, people like Melissa Etheridge, I had to go to California to be heard, and so I'll give myself any shot I can while I'm young enough to get out there and do it. So yes, I want to tour, I want to play, I want to see the world. I'm going to see the world. I have seen some of the world, but I want to do it with my own music as well. But that was what was great about the cruise, and that's why I also did. I didn't have to do it necessarily. I have a partner, we work together to pay the bills, but I knew that it was a chance to find opportunities, and it has. I've met producers, I've met all sorts of people along the way, so I'm just gonna let it all unravel and see what happens.
And how was that to have the long distance relationship when you were on the sea? This must have been hard.
Oh my God. What can I say about that? Like the first contract, I was convinced I made the worst mistake of my life for like the first week. I also, we were masked. I had to be masked and isolated in my room, and so I'd have to go to my pub with a mask on and like get ready and then take it off to perform. It was just, and I couldn't eat anywhere. I had to take my food to my room, so no window in my room at that time. It was just a little isolating. So I woke up with night sweats and nightmares. I cried a lot, but we just, my God, we worked through it, and now we feel pretty, excuse my French, badass. It's like, oh my God, we can do anything. It just gave us faith in ourselves. But I don't want to keep doing that. I don't. Cruising, what's fun, so I did a week-long cruise in July for President's Cruise, and so that is an annual cruise with the CEO of Royal Caribbean, all of their upper management, their most committed cruisers. Like, it was one of the most intense weeks of my life, and I was like, ooh, I don't know that I want to leave my wife for 2 months ever again, but it's looking like I might be going for a 5-week contract.
Make them make you an offer.
Yeah, I know. I know because they handpicked me for that. It's called for the President's Cruise, so I know they value me. I know they understand what I can do. But now it's like, how do I make it worth it for me in my personal life as well? But I forgot what I was going to say about being on the cruise is I got requested to play original songs all the time. But I didn't even say I was an artist. Somebody was like, "Can you play Hell?" And I was like, "My song, Hell?" She's like, "Oh yeah." She's like, "I figured you were an artist, and I looked it up on Spotify last night, and I'd like to hear it." Like, oh, sure.
Oh, that felt good.
That felt real good.
Yeah,
she was from New York. I'm like, great. You're a musician in New York. You know what you're talking about. Thank you for the validation, because it's so hard to be on a ship and try to cater to anyone that comes into your pub. But when they want to hear your original music, you're doing something right. So it's just built my confidence up a lot. So I'll be sharing my original music on the ship. They can't stop me from doing that.
And you've got a brand new video coming out that was produced by Jerry Rabb.
Yes.
Some of you might know who
directed.
That is.
Yeah, we storyboarded that together. And
so tell us a little bit about that video, and when and where could we see that?
Sure. The when and the where is still being determined. Jerry did update me yesterday and said it's been sent to Boston, the editors in Boston, and so we went through all the footage. So I think here in the next week we should have a better idea. So I'll keep y'all posted. But it's for a song I wrote last year called Better Day, and the song itself is kind of about I survived. Hopefully, I don't mean to trigger anyone, but I did survive a suicide attempt, and I was looking back in retrospect as I was about to go on my cruise contract, and I was like, did I survive all that to be here today? I must have. Like, there were better days ahead. I didn't even know it then, but I am in those better days. And being that I grew up singing gospel music, I went to the piano and wrote this song. And so I played it for Jerry, and he's been a friend and fan for a long time, and likewise, mutual respect and love. And we came up with the concept, and it's a full-scale, the most professional thing I've ever been a part of in my life. And it's a video that really takes you through the journey of being down at rock bottom and finding your way all the way up. So hopefully it'll inspire people. Again, that's what I'm here to do, is just to let people know you can make it, you can survive, you can thrive, and I'm cheering for you.
I appreciate you sharing that. It's difficult, and I appreciate you sharing that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the video.
Yeah.
It sounds great. So we've got the video coming out. And can people buy the record now?
It's October 24th officially, but if you want to join me on October 14th,
that sounds amazing. I like the intimate setting too. So you really, feel when you sing, you have such a powerhouse voice. Anybody here never heard Nicole sing? Anybody? She's a powerhouse. She's a powerhouse. So to sit in an intimate concert would be really, really moving, I think. So
it's my favorite way to do it now, honestly. I only want to do house concerts after, because having an attentive audience. I mean, I've played in pubs where no one's listening, when everybody's listening, every variation, but there's just something about a listening room vibe, especially for your original music. That's what I live for.
Yeah, I so appreciate you sharing all this with us. Does anybody have any questions for Nicole? Yes, ma'am.
Are you planning to do Folk Alliance in February in Kansas City?
Gosh, I haven't even thought that far. I have seen that you guys are starting to talk about that. I know that's happening. I think I would love to. I just need to get on top of it, and I've always missed the deadlines because I'm always on some different path, and it's not that I mean to miss it. It's not that I mean to miss anything that's happening in Kansas City. This cruising situation's got me all over the place, but I'd love to.
Other questions for Miss Nicole? Yes, Jeff.
Do you primarily write on piano or guitar or both, and do you find that your approach changes with either instrument as far as composition goes?
That's a good question. Typically, it all starts with vocally, honestly. It comes with a melody in my mind, and so really depending on what I think the song would serve that melody, I jump on the instrument that I feel like it resonates with. So but I've started opening up more to piano, and I think that's going to be kind of what I start working with, because I love guitar, I love it, but piano is just, there's an intimacy to it that it just feels, I don't know, a part of my soul. But there's no rules really with how it works for me. Guitar is nice to jump on because I'm so well versed in it at this point. It's easy to write the songs, but I love then seeing how it sounds on piano and moving it around and seeing what the right energy is for the song. So
I have a question.
Okay.
Would you do us a favor and play a song?
Yes.
Yay!
I'm not vocally warmed up. I mean, I'm fine.
Okay. Your worst,
if I can do that.
Girl, your worst day would be my best day.
Oh,
so
stop
that's true.
Okay. Let's see.
What are you going to sing for us?
Well, I'll just sing Better Day since I brought it up. And
let's do it.
Preview the music video.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, yeah, this one's called Better Day. I already told you the story, so the little gospel kid in me unleashed. Here we go. Ooh, I was winded, I was drained. The world's dark, I recall. Shadows hanging over me, they were ripping, tearing. Oh, just dragging down my soul. Life can't strengthen it, no. I was made to see a better day. I was made to see a better day. Some days were trying, but I kept on fighting for a better day. So if I ever feel free, I'll sung to the Lord again. I'm gonna rise up once more. My shoes are all over every feet. Yeah, the worry doesn't just disappear. Oh, but it has no control. And that's the power I know I hold. You'll take me to a better guitar with me is the only thing. I play it on piano. I've never played it on piano though.
Oh,
Should I set myself up for that? Probably.
it's only us kids.
You're in a
The
safe.
key change might be hard. Let's see.
You're in a safe room.
Okay, we won't do the key change just because I don't have to transpose that. It's just too much. So I'll just do a little bit of it. Your angry words can't be unsaid. You try and mess with my head. Here we go again. But you can see it doesn't hit me deep. I won't be losing any sleep. My peace is my key. So don't tell me what I can't do or say I'm weak without you. Well, who the hell are you anyway? 'Cause you know I'm a child of I'm better on my own. 'Cause I'm strong. So watch me go, taking that high road, shining on. 'Cause I'm strong. I got a heart that's full of dreams, it's bursting at the seams. I finally believe that my strength gives me peace. Oh, there ain't a mountain I can't climb. So watch me as I fly away. 'Cause you know I'm a shining, I'm better on my own. 'Cause I'm strong. So watch me go, taking that high road, shining on. 'Cause I'm strong. Ooh, yeah. One more time. Oh, 'cause you don't know how much I know. Better on my own. 'Cause I am strong. So watch me go, taking that high road. Shine, shine, shining on, shining on. Yeah, 'cause I'm strong. Yeah, yeah. I never played on piano.
Well, that was amazing. Please thank Nicole Springer. Go look her up on the internet, buy her stuff.